Hello, and welcome to Scott's Odyssey. What would be more interesting than visiting a house that has its beginnings in the 1830s, surrounded by old mills, lime quarries, and a cave that you can go into only if you go inside the house first? Wait, a cave inside the house? See you in a minute.
Here we find ourselves just outside of Williamson, Pennsylvania, an old Pennsylvania town that, like many, got its start in millwork, lime quarries, and ganister for the Southern Pennsylvania Railroad branch that was owned by the Cumberland Valley Railroad at the time. 250 feet from the Conococheague Creek and a tenth of a mile below the end of the former quarry is a location where it is documented that in 1830, Samuel Myers, a tenant worker of the farm in this location, lost a horse that was standing in a field when a sinkhole collapsed beneath it. Or John Coffey, the landowner, was blasting rocks for building materials and a sinkhole opened. Either way, in 1830 the mutually agreed upon scenario is that there was a farming land right here and a sinkhole opened. For John Coffey, it was the opportune time for him to pull out the large loose stone of the recently opened sinkhole in order to use it for building house foundation. During his digging, he opened up a 2 to 2.5 foot entryway into a cave, just 30 feet from the road. In 1836, the Mercersburg Academy sent out students to explore the cave. It is said in the records that these students left behind their names and the year of 1836 before leaving. One of the key takeaways from this exploration was the considerable amount of dripstone formations within the cave. During other early explorations, the explorers vandalized a lot of speleothems, particularly the soda straws, and the cave walls were marked with a lot of carbon soot from candles. The cave became named Coffey Cave, but it was also called John Coffey's Cave and Williamson Cave. Most of the cave's life after being found revolved around continued quarry work in the area. While in the ownership of J.E. Baker and the J. Baker Limestone Company of York, the cave remained as a privately held adjunct to the quarry company, and it was not open for public tours. During 1931, the cave was leased from owner J.E. Baker by O.G. Edwards and M.L. Bergen, both of whom were former cave guides of the Crystal Grottos out of Maryland. Their lease was a 99-year-long lease to all caves within a 1,500-acre tract. Their intention was opening the cave to the public during the heyday of what is known as the Auto Age Show Cave days, a time where the combination of the automobile mixed with somewhere to go opened the world's roads up to tourism traps with caves and other natural wonders being at the top of somebody's destination. Although the old pamphlet states that the cave was open to the public on July 2nd of 1932, historical records show that the formal opening date by Bergen and Edwards was on July 3rd, and the cave was called Baker Caverns. Edwards and Bergen built a concrete stairway into the sinkhole along a natural fault, referred to as the Large Strike. They did this in order to make it much more easily accessible for tours. For practical purposes, a small 2-story building was built over the staircase as an entrance to the cave. As time went on, there were additions to the building creating a large residence, including a gift shop and a ticket office, with the steps to the cave being underneath the front concrete porch. The initial passageways were so steep that 3 more staircases were added for ease of access. For the most part, the shape of the cave conveniently follows a loop. Inside the cave can be found a travertine bridge, or a stone bridge made of the travertine limestone that was opened above the stone and then a hole drilled through the stone, giving you the equivalent of a natural land bridge over a particular area where there was claimed to have been found Native American remnants. You will also find a goyors, or rimstone ledge, making up a calcite stone dam that retains water in pools. There's lots of soda straws, dripstones, and flowstone canopies everywhere. Where a formerly blocked 3-foot tall crawlway of 150 feet in length used to exist, is now a 20-foot long concrete tunnel. There are a series of black walls and pseudo-columns within the cave. Lots of cave tour guides will tell you that these pillars turn black due to the oil of human skins touching and reacting with the limestone. But the reality is that these columns and pillars have a high concentration of manganese in them, which causes the column to be black due to oxidization. In 1942, Bergen bought the 155-acre farm for $6,200 and canceled the 99-year lease. Lighting was installed inside the cave, and the use of daylight globes giving a bluish tint were used to create a natural light illumination. Unlike most other show caves, no colored lights were used in Baker Caverns. Although in contention with varying degrees of differences, the cave has approximately 675 feet of total passage. The approximate age of the cave is within the past 3 million years between the Pliocene and the Pleistocene eras. At this cave's heyday in 1932, the price of admission was 50 cents for adults and free for children as long as they were accompanied by an adult. In 1942, the price was upped to 55 cents for adults and 25 cents for children. Directly across the road from the caverns was a gated picnic area that is now fully overgrown and unused. Curiously, one of the picnic tables was an old gristmill wheel which is now located on the Williamson Community Center grounds. In January of 1953, the cave and surrounding lands were purchased by the Bethlehem Steel Company. On Labor Day 1954, the cave was closed to the public due to several factors: the financial collapse of the show cave tourist industry, M.L. Bergen having severe health issues, and the 1953 purchase of all surrounding lands to the Baker Caverns caused a significant isolation from tourists being able to actually get to the attraction. The business model for the cave collapsed so hard that upon close of the gift shop, the Bergens just dumped all of the remaining souvenirs, bumper stickers, brochures into the limestone quarry tail end just up the road from this location. Baker's Caverns remained off limits to all people, with certain exceptions of geological studies and government entities, for the next 66 years. In 1988, Bethlehem Steel Company sold off the majority of its lots. During that same year, Lee and Dean Myers of Williamson purchased the Baker Caverns. Unfortunately, it remained private.
In 2020, the property was purchased by a relative through marriage and is now owned by the Black family, who renamed the site the Black Coffey Caverns, thereby showing the new ownership as well as the original ownership of the cave in the name. If you get the chance and are in this area, it's definitely a fun cave to check out. I will put links in the description for the Facebook page to this site. I hope you enjoyed the history and the tour of the Black Coffey Caverns. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.